So if anyone saw our presentation in Vegas, we had a full magic show. So today we're going to have a mini magic show. We're going to talk a little bit about magic and the magical number 42. Anybody who's a science fiction fan knows that 42 is also the number that represents the meaning of life. It's also Einstein's number. We can go into that later, but it is also the number of loans per loan officer. There's roughly 5 million properties are sold and roughly 120,000 loan officers. That's 42 loans per loan officer, right? And that's just purchase business. So when you take refi and HELOCs and so forth, there's much more than that. So there's a lot of business out there, right? The rates are rising and you start thinking that, okay, the business is getting tight. It's not. There's a lot of business out there. 42. It's also another magical number. It's also the number of years SunWest has been in business. We started in 1980. It's a family-owned business. My boss is sitting right here, my mom. Okay, so the topic today is controversial headline, divorce your processor, but what it really means is divorce from loan processing. Okay, loan originators should not be loan processors. Okay, save that time and money. Okay, we have technology that eliminates that entire function. Okay, and take your time and money and energy and use it to invest in two things. Number one, building relationships. All right, get those 42 loans. That's just purchase business again. There's still a bunch of cash out refis to be done right now. There's still a bunch of HELOCs to be done. So spend all your time building business and building relationships. That's number one. All right, stop processing loans. Number two, for the team that you have, who is your processing support and processing and so forth, invest in them. Take them to the next level. There is a shortage of loan officers. 42 is a big number. Invest in them. Have them help you build your market. Help them, coach them, motivate them to get their license. Right? So there's this training course, right? You're all here for the training course day after tomorrow. Your processor should be here. Help them get licensed. So, divorce from loan processing, marry your loan officer. Right? Your staff should all be part of your sales process. And so that sounds great. How do you achieve that? How do you get rid of loan processing? Okay, we have the technology. It's really easy. It's called Morgan. I'm wearing this shirt. It's a beautiful shirt. You guys can get one of these shirts. They're really cool. They're free. Just go to usemorgan.com. Everything you need to do to process your loan file is available for you at usemorgan.com. Okay, you can ask it. You can upload income documents. You can ask it scenarios, ask it guidelines, ask it about FHA, conventional, jumbo, non-QM. Everything. It'll answer all the questions for you. It will process your loan for you. Right? The number one thing a processing does is you get documents and say, hey, is this what I need? Does this solve the problem? Right? That's the number one thing that you do with loan processing. Have them check the documents. And loan processing, your processor, depending on how much experience he or she may have, could take a while to review it. And then it goes, finally from there, it goes to underwriting. And then you have more delays. And that stretches out the entire loan origination cycle. And in the meantime, you've got anxious borrowers and realtors wondering what is going on. Okay, instead, if you take that document and put it in Morgan and say, hey, Morgan, what is this document? What is the income? Is this HOA approvable? Is this hazard insurance correct? Is this sufficient coverage? Anything you could think of, anything that you would ever ask your loan processor to do, you can ask Morgan to do. Right? Today, as of right now, we guarantee in 2 hours you will have a final insured answer. SunWest will rep and warrant that the answer you get from Morgan is final. As of October 1st, that's going down to 1 hour. So you drop in a document, you drop in a question, in maximum 1 hour, absolute final answer. Right? And also remember that SunWest has no overlays. on agency. We even do agency manual underwrites. We go down to 500 credit score on government loans and no credit score. We do, the borrowers, especially you see that a lot with new borrowers, new immigrant borrowers, they have no credit, right? So we'll do the no credit borrowers as well, manual underwrites. So all loans are underwritten, guaranteed by 8 a.m. the next morning, okay? So our metrics, June and July, we have a presentation out there on YouTube. June and July metrics, 99.67% of loans met the 8 a.m. guarantee. Okay, and we can talk about why the 0.3 later on. But there's, the 0.3 are basically because when they don't have really enough documents to underwrite a loan, to make a decision. All right, so bottom line, use the tool, use the technology. It's one of a kind. We have over 50 patents on it. You drop in the documents, you drop in your questions, and it's free to use. You don't even have to be a SunWest approved broker. You don't have to work for SunWest, you don't have to approve with SunWest. You can use it. It's completely 100% free. Any documents you have, any scenarios you have, you put it in there, get the answer, and it's the final answer. And we stand behind it. So if you submit the loan to SunWest, it'll guarantee to go the way that it said it would. Right? If you don't submit the loan to SunWest, good luck. Especially if it's a lower credit score loan. Right? Very few. 30% of our production is below 620. Yes, sir.
Does it analyze taxes?
Yes, it does. Good question.
Self-employed.
Yes, it does. It does analyze taxes, K-1s, schedule of real estate, all of that stuff. You can put in tax returns of as complex as you want into it. Guaranteed in 2 hours, you're going to get an answer that this is the actual income. And it's not $1 too much and not $1 too little. It's going to be the exact right income. Yes, go ahead.
What doesn't it do?
Well, it doesn't. Right now, you cannot order a latte with it. But that's coming. An Uber Eats integration is coming, and we're going to be giving reward points. The more you use it, the more reward points you get. And you can use the reward points to order lattes with it or anything else from Uber Eats.
So is SunWest, is it structured more for or focused on the low credit scores, the challenging loans that a lot of...
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. The question is SunWest focused on the low credit score loans? Well, SunWest is focused on fair lending. Okay, so what does that mean? That means a borrower with 580 credit score, the best example is a borrower with a lower credit score, like one of the organizations we support is TACA that helps autism families. So those families, their credit gets beaten up because they got all these medical issues with their children. They're struggling to pay all these expenses, right? But they're like ideal homeowners. They need that home, and they love their home, right? So true fair lending means that whether the loan is a 580 credit score or a 780 credit score, whether the loan it's a single mom with a disabled kid working three jobs to make ends meet, right? Or a wealthy person, more fortunate person living in Newport Beach with $1 million house, you're still going to close the loan in under 15 days, right? And we do it consistently across the credit spectrum. Right, 30% of our loans is below 620, 70% is above 620, and 40% is between 720 and above. Right, so we do jumbos, non-QM, bank statement only loans, DSCR, all of those products, FHA, government, USDA, the lower credit scores, the higher credit scores, it's all programmed into the AI. Right, it covers it all. So that's when you can achieve true fair lending, right? You give not only consistent pricing and fair pricing across the spectrum, but you treat everyone with respect. And you deliver same quality of service for the single mom with a disabled kid that you do for the more fortunate person in Newport Beach or Beverly Hills. Yes. No, that's a good question. That's a big misconception. We are one of the largest reverse mortgage lenders in the country. And people will challenge that. I've seen social media saying, oh no, you're not, so-and-so is bigger, right? Our technology is the backbone of some of the biggest reverse lenders out there. I mean, we established the Ginnie Mae reverse servicing platform. So we've done more, we've done less reverse mortgages in terms of origination volume, but as far as capability and having the technology to do it, we're number one. And something like 500,000 loans, reverse mortgage loans across the country are serviced on our platform. So we have deep, thorough understanding of reverse mortgages. You can ask Morgan any reverse mortgage question.
And that's my niche, so that's what I'm interested in.
Love it. We love reverse mortgages. We've been doing it since 2004.
Same.
Yeah.
So we can use Morgan if we want to set up a reverse mortgage scenario, because sometimes it depends on the person's age and how
Yes.
much equity they have.
You can use Morgan, and also our reverse mortgage calculator. Just go to simpleheckhamcalculator.com, right? It's still the most popular calculator out there because it's free, it's available, and brokers use it. Brokers, I met a financial analyst last year. He says he uses it all the time.
What's the web address?
Simpleheckhamcalculator.com. 500,000 plus reverse mortgages in the world are serviced on it. Yes?
You guys doing HELOCs also?
We are doing HELOCs. That is a good question. We are doing HELOCs. I'm not sure whether we rolled it out on the TPO channel. I know we are doing it on our retail channel. We're not 100% sure about TPO. And actually, that's a good question, though, in the sidebar. People ask, especially brokers ask, well, you have a retail channel. Don't you compete with us? Right? And the answer is no. Right? The answer is no, we don't compete with you because the way we're structured. Right? We are a loan officer first company. Okay, so that means that everything we do is about equality and making sure the best possible service is given to the loan officer. And if the best service is given to the loan officer, and we don't care which channel that the loan officer is on. Now, for brokers, right, your pricing is 50 basis points better than our retail loan officers. So our retail loan officers will never be able to undercut you. And that's the standard policy, and you can look on our website. We publish our retail pricing, and we publish our wholesale pricing. So our retail pricing is indexed off wholesale.
The down payment assistance programs that you offer, is it Cal?
We have CalHAFA, the Chenoa, and then we have almost, throughout the country, almost every DPA local. And if we don't, if you come to us and say, I need XYZ Housing Authority program in Wyoming or whatever, Idaho, and if we don't have it, we'll be like, okay, let's, our commitment is if you ask, we will sign up. And that sign-up process, depending on the housing authority, and it could be anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. You just don't know. Any other questions? What's the website? Well, you can go to usemorgan.com. You can ask any questions that you want, and you can also ask it for your free T-shirt.
There you go.
You go to usemorgan.com, and most of you here are millennials, but you just say, I want my MTV, and you'll get your free T-shirt. Huh? usemorgan.com. usemorgan.com. Right. And it's an app. It's an online web application. You just talk to it. You talk to it just like you talk to a real person. And any questions you have, any documents you want reviewed, any guideline questions, whatever, it'll answer everything for you. And what's really more exciting, a week from now, next Monday, we have a new version being released. Just a really big new version is coming out where it's going to be like blazing fast and a bunch of new features. Right. So right now, the current version of Morgan is focused on accuracy. It's 100% accurate. We stand behind it. Next version is going to be accurate and fast. So Current version, be a little patient. Sometimes it takes like a minute to give you an answer. The next version is like this, and I was testing it this morning. It's cool. Yeah. So, last words is, what is the secret to a good marriage? Since we were talking about divorce and marrying a loan officer and all these things, right? Huh? Communication? Okay. Commitment? Okay, what I say, the secret to a good marriage is more romance, less housekeeping. Let Morgan do the housekeeping for you. Right? That's the job of Morgan. It does all of the housekeeping so that the relationship you have with your team is all romance, right? Sales is romance, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? You're romancing your customers, your realtors, your borrowers, but you're also romancing your team, right? Internally, you have to romance internally. That means get them out of the housekeeping, right? You focus on romance. Get them focused on your customer, right? That's how you build more business.
And currently, if our brokers are not approved with SunWest, we can just go and get approved.
Just ask Morgan, I want to get approved.
Got it.
Give me my t-shirt and my approval. I want them both, now. Morgan will be like, okay. Yes? You have a question? Oh, okay. And Morgan does love you, by the way. You can ask Morgan anytime. It'll always love you.
Out in this area, who is your reverse mortgage rep? Do you have an assigned reverse mortgage rep?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. So,
That's an issue with most banks.
yeah. So, the question is, who would be the reverse mortgage rep? Or more specifically, who would be your AE? We don't have AEs.
Okay.
We have Morgan. Right? AI, not AE. So anything you want to know about a reverse mortgage, about anything, about a non-QM, a product that you've never done before, you can just ask Morgan for that. And then you can say, hey, Morgan, you know what? I want to talk to somebody in charge. And Morgan says, fine. And someone will call you. Right? And when you get that call, it's going to be not from an AE who doesn't, let's face it, most AEs don't really have any authority, right?
Yeah.
You will get a call from someone with authority.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
It'll generally be somebody from the management team will call you.
Perfect. So one other question
Mhm.
on the marketing side of it. Do you have PowerPoint presentations or anything that you offer to your brokers, loan officers, whichever,
Mhm.
to do presentations for reverse mortgages to an audience?
Yeah. Well, okay. So we have. That's another good question. The question is do we provide marketing content, which includes PowerPoint presentations, etc. First of all, the simple HECM calculator can be private labeled to your company. So you can offer that calculator to your customers with your branding on it. So that's a service we've offered for forever on the reverse side. We also have a database of thousands of flyers across the board, whether it's renovation, 203K, reverse mortgage, non-QM, whatever. And you can request our marketing department to have those branded for you. And it's all automatic. They'll just run a tool and they'll brand it with your company name and license information. They get everything right. They get your right license disclosures and all that. You don't have to worry about any of that. Especially some of you who are licensed in multiple states. Right, that's always a concern, right? What disclosure do I have to put where on what state, right? So we have all that in our database. You just give us your license numbers and we take care of the rest.
Awesome.
So who likes romance and who likes housekeeping? Can we show of hands?
Romance. I think I'm gonna have a romance with Morgan.
That's easy. She always responds that she loves you, no matter what you say. That's the other nice thing about Morgan is if you get frustrated, you can unload on Morgan, right? You can't unload on an underwriter, right? On a human underwriter, you can't. When a Morgan say, I don't like this condition, it sucks or whatever, you got it wrong, it doesn't care, it's a computer. You could tell it how you really feel, and it doesn't care. And that's important, right? Because too much energy is wasted in this business walking in eggshells, tiptoeing around personalities and so forth. Right? And that's why we call it empathetic technology. right? The AI is focused on you, caring about how you feel. You don't have to care about how it feels, because it doesn't feel. It's a computer.
Have no feelings.
Right? It has no feelings. Exactly. Okay. Right. Right. Thank you. Right.